गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ओम सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शंकरं लोकशंकरम्। ओम आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुः श्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्यां मा ब्रह्म अनिराकरणमस्त्वनिराकरणं मे अस्तु। य उपनिषत्सु धर्माः ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु। ओम शांति शांति शांति। So in 12th chapter, in 12th section, 8th chapter of 12th section, final teaching is given. By whom? By Prajapati to Indra. After staying for how many years? 101 years. What did he say? Ashariri. Ashariraha is Atma. Atma is Ashariri. So, it is neither Vishwa, nor Taijasa, nor Prajna. It is Sharira Rahitam, Shuddha Chaitanya. We saw yesterday, and what are the implications of that thought. Example is given. Just as air, cloud, thunder and lightning, they are merging with Akasha. Akasha stands for body, merged in Akasha in non-rainy season. And because of summer heat and because of heat, the clouds are formed. And because of the clouds, when the rainy season comes, these things come out and stand themselves Svena Rupena Abhinishpadyante, stand in their own glory. Similarly, this Turiya Atma, one identified with the Sharira, Stula, Sukshma, Karma Sharira, when it liberates itself, disassociates itself with these three bodies, Svena Rupena Abhinishpadyante. It exists as eternal, bodiless, all-pervading spirit. And there is no fear in that. That is our original Swarupa. No boundaries, no guna, no Sukshma Sharira, no Karna Sharira, no duality. There is nobody exists other than me. So I alone exist as eternal, pure consciousness. That is my original nature. From that only I slipped and became this. Now, evameva samprasadaha. That's exact. Asmat sharirat samuthaya param jyotir upasampadya svena rupena abhinishpadyate. He is called as what? Uttama Purushaha. You are understanding Sanskrit, no? Very easy. Evam eva esha samprasadaha. This samprasada Samprasada, tranquil one, Jivaha. Asmat Sharirat Samuthaya, having risen from the identification with this Sharira, with Sharira, Stula, Sukshma, Karna Sharirat, Paranjyotir Upasampadya, having reached Aikyata, oneness with Supreme Light, the Divine Consciousness, he Svena Rupena Avinishpadyate, he revels in his own glory, Saha Uttama Purushaha, he is Uttama Purushaha. Then what does he do afterwards? Satatra Pariyeti. He is in this vast universe created by Ishvara. Ishvara's expression continues. Perception of duality may continue after realization. If you want to see this world, Jagat will be seen. So what does it do as long as Prarabdha is there? Satatra Pariyeti Jakshat Kridan Ramamanaha Stribhirva Yanairva Jnatibhirva. Becomes his expression. He is experiencing all joys through all the bodies of the universe. I don't know whether I told you or not, a great master, one of his instructions to disciples, he said, because I have merged myself with cosmos, I can make it available to each one of you. Blessed are those disciples, under such a guru. So Gurudev said, I will take you up to Brahman. If there is something beyond Brahman, that is very headache to find, he said. What a statement Gurudev made. I will take you up to Brahman. What does you need? Such a masters are assuring us openly, I will take you up to Brahman. So therefore, this total consciousness become one with totality. They get all joys through all the bodies. Na upajanam smaran idam shariram. Idam upajanam shariram na smaran. Not conscious of only this physical body, which is the born out of Stri Purusha Sanyoga, Upajanam. Born out of Stri Purusha Sanyoga, this physical body, Nasmaran, not remembering, not identifying with it. A specific identification with one body is dropped. And this is actually facts. These are all absolute facts. There is no ambiguity in the statement. There is no doubt in the statement. There is no confusion in the statement. There is no twist in the statement. Statement is correct, crystal clear, and it is experience. What is that? That consciousness is not identified specifically with the physical body, but he is expressing through all the physical bodies. And it is a state of experience. Therefore, they are ever tripti, ever contented. So, Upajanam smaran idam shariram. And so how sayatha prayogya acharane yuktaha, just as horse is yoked to a cart. This body is also, this particular prarabdha related body is there, for him. It is still hanging for some time. Though he is functioning through all these bodies, one body perhaps is tied to him through prana. Like horse is yoked to a cart. But though it is tied, he is not identified with it specifically because he is not conscious of his physical body. He is not conscious of his physical body specifically. Upajanam smaran idam shariram na smaran. This body is not conscious of. Meaning, we are now, what are we doing? We are exclusively conscious of this body. ever wedded to, ever married to this body. And we don't want to divorce the body also. By Bhagavan's grace, divorce will happen. If God asks, would you like to die? Nobody says yes. You want divorce from physical body? No. Because we are eternally married. If there is a chance to get eternally married with the body, we will opt. Identified. Therefore, here he is not identified with the body. Body is there, but he is not specifically conscious of, exclusively conscious of. He is conscious of his body as one among the many infinite bodies. He is expressing through all of them as Jagrit Swapna Sushuptishu Sputathara Ya Samvidujrumbhate Ya Brahmadi Pipilikanta Tanushu Prota Jagat Sakshini. A very beautiful thing. What is that state? Brahma se lekar ke Pipilikanta, up to ant in the bodies of all this, I am the Sakshi of all of them. Ya Brahmadi Pipilikanta Tanushu, Tanushum bodies. Prota Jagat Sakshini. That Jagat Sakshini, Prota, well, all pervading. Saivaham, that is me. Nacha drushyavastviti druda prajnasti yasyasti chet. Chandalostu satudvijostu gururityesha manisha mama. Such a prajna is me, that I am Jagat Sakshi. That is experience. Okay? So, evameva ayam asmin sharire prano yuktaha. This body is associated through prana tied to him, but he is not identified with it. He is functioning through all the bodies. I'll tell one example. In me, who am I? My consciousness is expressing through millions of cells in the body. Yes or no? And each cell is a living organism. It has its own cycle, cell cycle. Cell through divisions, they have their existence, they grow, they exist, they die. Each cell in the body. How many of them? Millions of them. Now, who is expressing through all this, the consciousness? Cell consciousness is confined to only a cell structure. Each individual cell is identified, that consciousness conditioned by the cell, what we call protoplasm, or the body of the cell, circumference of the cell, structure of the cell. So that consciousness identified with that particular cell experiences individuality at that cellular level. Okay. Now, who am I? Me, I am expressing through all the cells. Right? And when I am expressing constantly through all the cells, in my presence, some cells are dying, some cells are just dead, some cells are born. Is there any loss in me? Am I worried that one cell died? Expand this thought to universe. Of all Chaturdasha Bhavana Brahmandas, to all the 14 Brahmandas. Expand this thought. Who am I? I am that consciousness expressing through all the Brahmandas, not one Brahmanda, Ananta Koti Brahmanda. I am that consciousness expressing through all the bodies. I am not attached to any specific cell in the body. Similarly, in my total consciousness, so many bodies, some are born, some are being born, some are dying, some are just dead, some are living. And though all these are happening in me, I am not affected. Why? I am that total consciousness which is supporting the existence of all the creatures in the cosmos. Just as my consciousness is supporting the life cycles of every cell, I am not particularly attached to any cell, but all of them are living on me. They have their life, they die, but I am the one who is expressing. Even some thousands of cells die, lakhs of cells die, I am not disturbed. Some are born, I am not disturbed, but my consciousness pervades all. If this experience, which is at the microcosmic level, the body level, same thing when we expand and realize at the cosmic level, this will be the experience. So thanks to the master who gave this example. Right now he gave this example that explained through bodies of the cells of the body, or bodies of the cells. So that is the experience of Turiyatma, Prota Jagat Sakshini. And that is called full enlightenment. Full enlightenment meaning not partial. Brahmavit, Brahmavittara, Brahmavittama, Brahmavid Varishta. So many states of realizations are there. So that is the thing. So such a jnani, he doesn't claim himself to be an Akshipurusha. Akshipurusha, who is Akshipurusha? Identified with Vishwa Stula, Vishwa called Vishwa. He is not claiming himself to be a Swapna Purusha. He doesn't claim himself to be a Prajna, Sushupti Purusha. The fourth name is given. What is the name? Turiyatma. That Turiyatma is given as a name. What is that? Uttama Purushaha. Is it really fourth? No. It is not really the fourth. But then what is the fourth? Ashariri. There is no state. Okay? So having said this, now hereafter means 3 mantras are over, no? In 12th section, out of 6 mantras. So 3 mantras are there now. So hereafter meaning coming 3 mantras. The teacher explains that Turiya Chaitanyam alone is expressing as Akshipurusha. Previously, he started with Akshipurusha, then he took to Swapna Purusha, then he took to Sushupti Purusha, Prajnaha. He started with Akshipurusha and concluded with what? Uttama Purusha. Uttama Purusha is Ashariri. Okay? Turiyam. Now he is reversing the teaching. What he says, earlier what did I say? I led you to first Akshipurusha. Then I said Akshipurusha is not the Atma. Then there is another Purusha called Swapna Purusha. Then I told you Swapna Purusha also cannot be Atma. Then there is another Purusha you discovered, Prajnaha. Sushupti, identified with Sushupti. Then we discovered that he is also not called Atma. Then we discovered there is a fourth state called Turiyam. Now, that reverse teaching is what? He says that Uttama Purusha, that Chaitanyam alone is called as Akshipurusha, not they are separate. Now that Turiyam alone is called as Akshipurusha, Turiyam alone is called as Swapna Purusha, Turiyam alone is called as Prajnaha, Sushupti Purusha, identified with Sushupti. See now teaching. Earlier what? He separated first. So there are two sets of Upanishads. Mandukya Upanishad says Turiya is fourth state other than these three. Other than Jagrata Avastha, other than Swapna Avastha, other than Sushupti Avastha is Turiya Atma Chaturtham Manyante. Sa Atma Sa Vigneyaha. It is the fourth state. Upanishad, like Mandukya spoke as a separate state altogether. Separate state means to make you understand. Here, he says there is no separate state. There is no Turiya separately existing. Chandogya space says Turiya is not existing separately. Turiya alone in one condition is called as Akshipurusha. In some other condition it is called Swapna Purusha. Some other condition it is called Prajnaha. When there is no Shariram is identified with, he is called Uttama Purusha. So there are not so many consciousnesses. It's only one. Therefore, he alone is appearing. This will be teaching of in 12th section. Atha yatra etad akasham anuvishannam chakshuho sachakshushaha purusho darshanaya chakshuho athayo vededam jigraniti sa atma gandhaya ghranam athayo vedeya idam abhivyaharanati iti athayo veda idam abhivyaharaniti athayo veda idam abhivyaharaniti sa atma abhivyaharaya vaghatayo vededam shrunvaniti sa atma shravanaya srotram. Now he says, Yatra etad akasham anuvishannam chakshuho sa chakshusha purushaha. Who is the chakshusha purusha? Here, where the eye, it inheres the space, is it not? What is the space inside? Socket it is. In that socket, eye is occupying. Eye is a conjunctiva, pupil, eyeballs. So, yatra etad akasham anuvishannam. This akasha is there, space there in the socket of eye. In that socket, the eye is occupying. Chakshuhu. So this person, and that chakshu is there, golaka, socket, in that there is eye. Behind the eye, there is a indriyam, real eye which is seeing, not the physical eye. The real eye, which is real eye seeing, indriya, sense organ. Why? Even though if your mind is absent, even though you have opened your eyes, you cannot see anything. So who is the seer then? Not the physical eye. But physical eye is required to see as a window. Physical eye is a window. Behind the window, there is a sense organ called Nayanam, eye, E-Y-E. There is a sense organ, eye, E-Y-E. There is a sense organ. So that sense organ sees through the window, which is placed in the socket, fixed in the socket. That is nothing but space. So this eye inheres the space. Behind this socket, the eye, physical eye, organ eye, physical organ eye. Behind the physical organ eye, there is a sense organ eye without which you cannot see. This is required, but that is a seer. And behind that sense organ eye, the consciousness is identified with that sense organ. That consciousness which is functioning through that sense organ is called Chakshusha Purushaha. Saha Chakshusha Purushaha. He is the person seen in the eye. So much anatomy and physiology behind. Think. He what says that. So who is that Chakshusha Purushaha? That consciousness Turiyam, he alone is called as Chakshusha Purushaha. What is Chakshu? Chakshu is subtle Indriyam. Then who is the Purusha which is expressing through that Indriyam? Without the touch of consciousness, the sense organ also cannot work. So there is a Chaitanyam in that Indriyam. So that Chaitanyam is all pervading I am. So yatra etad akasham anuvishannam chakshuhu saha chakshusha purushaha. Now understood Sanskrit clearly? Anuvishannam, anu means follow. Fix, in here, space. Akasham anuvishannam. Enters there, the space occupied. The physical eye. Behind that, organ eye. Behind that, the Chaitanyam is functioning through the sense organ. Therefore, Upanishad says, this is called Turiyam. That Chaitanyam behind the Indriyam, that Indriyam behind the Golakam, behind the physical eye, conjunctiva and pupil and the part of it, the structural eye, and the structural eye is fixed in the space. So behind the space, structural eye, behind the structural eye, sense organ eye, behind the sense organ eye, the consciousness. That consciousness is Turiyam. It is called Akshi Purushaha when it is functioning through Akshi eyes. There is no separate Akshi Purusha. So very same Turiyam is alone available as Akshi Purushaha when in Jagrata Avastha. So the Turiyam is always available, 24/7. Darshanaya Chakshuhu. Eye is for seeing. So what are the eyes? Eyes for Darshanaya. Eye is only an instrument. Through eyes I see the forms and colors. The physical eye is required. Behind the physical eye, what is required? Organ eye is required. Sense organ, Indriyam. Behind the Indriyam, what is required? Chaitanyam is required. So, how do I experience the form? Through action. Because not through action. Seeing is not an action. I don't act. No, consciousness is acting, not acting. No. Consciousness is not seeing. Seeing is the verb. Like for example, sun is shining. Is sun shining? Shining is a verb. Do you ask him, son, sir, why are you shining? He says, I don't shine. Mean what? I am expressing my nature, you are calling it as a shining as though I am verb is added. Like fire burns. Fire doesn't burn. Why? Burning is a kriya. Does it burn? No. If you ask fire, why are you burning? Fire says, what is burning? My nature it is. There is no verb there. Burning is not a kriya there. It is swabhav, nature. When it is nature, there is no kriya. So whatever is brought within the field of fire, in contact with fire, it gets burnt. But you cannot superimpose the kriya called burning on fire. Like whoever is exposed to sun, they get dehydrated. But you cannot call sun as caused dehydration. Sun doesn't cause anything. Sun exists. Similarly, experience is not through action. Then what is happening? By mere presence, I am aware of forms and colors. Why? Even if I close my eyes, awareness doesn't disappear. It continues to exist. So awareness is there. So darshanaya chakshuhu. To see, chakshus are facilitating. But seeing is not a kriya on Shuddha Chaitanyam. Now, similarly, Athayo Veda idam jigrani iti sa atma. Athayo Veda idam. Then one who is conscious, jigrani iti. Let me smell this. The one who is conscious of smell. He says, let me smell this. He is a self. But here also, Gandhaya Ghranam. Organ of smell is receiving, is for perceiving smell. Therefore, that very principle called Suddha Aham becomes aware of what? Smell. Whenever in the vicinity of my presence of consciousness, anything comes in the consciousness field, that is noticed, that is illumined. Illumined as what? I'll give an example. Whatever object is in front of me, I see. So whatever comes in the field of my perception called I, the objects get illumined, is it not? Illumined. So there is no special effort from the I. One example, relative example I am giving. Suppose you keep one red glass. All objects are seen as red in color. Green. Objects are seen as green color. But I am neither red nor green. Because the consciousness is expressing through red color, every object is seen as red. Because consciousness expressing through as blue color, every object is seen as blue color. That eyes are seeing. Now, similarly here, in my presence of consciousness, eyes come, forms are noticed. When the consciousness expressing through ears, the sound is noticed. Sound falls in the field of my consciousness. Vision comes in the field of my consciousness when the consciousness is expressing through eyes. But consciousness is not seeing. Consciousness may, there is no kriya. Simply they fall in my awareness. Nishkriyoham. Naishkarma Siddhi is a huge text. Nishkriyaham. So the consciousness is just illumining. In my presence, according to the gunas of the indriyas or the objects, according to the dharma of the mind, indriyas, prana, sharira, etc., buddhi, those dharmas are expressed in my presence. But I am not the karta of any of those dharmas which are being expressed. So, therefore, Kena Upanishad says what? Whenever there is a perception, without consciousness, the thing cannot be illumined. So, in every experience, in every thought, consciousness should be there. Therefore, Kena Upanishad says, Pratibodha viditam matam. Amrutatvam hi vindate. In every experience, the consciousness has to be there to know. So that means what? Whatever experience is happening, it is because of consciousness. So that is there. So consciousness is revealing in every experience. But only thing is, I am missing it. I am missing myself. So therefore, similarly, athayo veda idam abhivyaharani iti sa atma abhivyaharaya. Similarly, one who is conscious, let me utter this, is the self. Meaning what? Who is the behind? Similarly, vakatayo veda idam suranvani iti sa atma. Then one who is conscious, let me utter this, he is the self. So Turiya Atma is present behind smell, speech, hearing, Sravanaya Srotram, Granaya Granam, Jigraya Jigraniti, Darshanaya Chakshuhu. Suppose I closed my eyes, physical eyes. I closed my eyes. When I closed my eyes, but consciousness is still expressing through my ears. So all the forms which are in front of my physical body, they are not falling in the perception purview of my consciousness because the window is closed. But the ears are open, so all the sounds which are happening, they are falling in the presence of my consciousness. So when I open my eyes, I just opened. The consciousness leaked out. Jnanam yasya tu chakshuradhikarana dvara bahispandate. Then jnanami iti, it will come. Therefore, here the Upanishad want to say, to experience Turiya Atma, you don't have to go to Turiya state. Now what is our understanding? There is something called Turiyam. In Jagrata Avastha you get one Avastha. In Swapna Avastha you get Jagrata Avastha you get Vishwa. Swapna Avastha you get Taijasa. In Nidra Avastha you get Prajna. In Samadhi you have to go somewhere. In Samadhi Abhyas somewhere you have to go. and Samadhi you get Turiya Atma. So Turiya Atma specially packed, isolated, kept in a corner. You have to go to that state of fourth state. Then he says this is nonsense. So therefore, in every avastha, there is Turiyam available. So who is Turiya? Turiyam is available as I in the waker, as I dreamer I, as I deep sleeper I. So I am always available. So they illuminate deep sleep also. Great yogis, mahayogis, they don't sleep. They are aware of their sleep sthiti also, avastha also. Okay? So to recognize all pervading Akasha is available in the pot also, is it not? So to recognize that all pervading Atma, Akasha, you don't have to jump out of the pot. So pot Akasha wants to know I am that all pervading. So pot Akasha will destroy the pot or jump out of the pot to know I am all pervading. You are already pervading, all pervading. Because space cannot be obstructed. Around space or in space, nothing can separate space, nothing can be constructed to separate space. Space is indivisible. So the consciousness is one, indivisible, functioning through all states. Okay. One more important thought is there. Normally, in general vyavahar, first we get knowledge, then we experience. Is it not? So you get the knowledge of Badrinath, then you go to Badrinath. Knowledge of Kailash Manas Sarovar, then you go there and get the knowledge of Kailash Manas Sarovar. Normal experience. So this is how we are used to it. Right? In Turiya case, we get experience first. We are already experiencing. So we don't go to Guru or Shastra for experience. Like for example, 10th Purusha. Dasham Purusha, no? Dasham Purusha story. Panchadashi it will come. In many Shastras it will come. Dashamo Purusha. There are 10 fools. They wanted to cross a river. A very huge analysis was there in Panchadashi about this. Huge analysis. So they crossed the river and they started counting. So anybody, all 10 of them counted, only 9 are there. They started crying. Somebody walker by asked, what happened? Sir, we were 10 people, we crossed, all of us checked, only 9 are there. We counted. When he counted, all 10 are there. But they challenged the 10, the Guru, said, Pagal hai kya? See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. Second fellow, 1, 2, 9 are there. Where is the 10th person? Then the Guru told, 10th person has already been experienced. Who? You are 10th person. When counting 9, 10th person is already existing. So, but though I am already experiencing myself as 10th person, I need a guru to give me knowledge. So what is happening? Here experience is already there. Knowledge is required from the teacher. From the teacher or Shastra, we don't gain experience. What the teacher does, you are already feeling I. Which I is real I, he will give you knowledge. Because so many eyes are there. Body eye, pranic eye, manasik eye, sukhi eye, dukhi eye, frustrated eye, confused eye, lalchi eye, greedy eye, confused eye, ignorant eye, frustrated eye, fearful eye, insecure eye. The Guru says, and the one eye which is illumining all the eyes. So Guru will tell you which eye is real eye. So Guru is not creating an experience for you. Then what does Guru does? Guru removes all those obstacles by giving right kind of knowledge. So the I behind all the transactions which is missing by us, the Guru comes and takes our drishti, focus towards that by giving knowledge of both what is to be eliminated and what is to be grasped. Therefore, we need knowledge to understand, not experience. And Turiya is always experienced. Spuratirut swayam parama purnasat. That is already there. But iska spurana nahi ho raha hai. Purnatvena. Why? It is clouded by other eyes. Like Dashamo Purushaha. Aham eva Dashama Purusha. I am alone, 10th man. That knowledge is missing, experience is there. Okay? So Turiya Chaitanyam, I am Nitya Turiya Chaitanyam. So for knowledge, we need Guru. For experience, we don't need Guru. Okay? So Guru makes you recognize, realize that you are this. In Sabi Ahamom mein many eyes of transactional eyes. Which Aham is mine? True eye. That eye which illumines all the eyes. So Guru brings that focus to my consciousness, to my awareness. So that is Turiya Atma is always present. This is what Upanishad says. It is not somewhere fourth state. But which is the correct? Mandukya is correct, Chandogya is correct, both are correct. How the Upanishad is teaching you, leading you towards experience is different. But ultimately, what they want to recognize that you are that Turiya Atma. Similarly, next mantra speaks about I, the consciousness expressing through mind. The one who is thinker. Manasika Kriya is thinking. But the consciousness expressing through mind is thinking. But the consciousness is required. That consciousness is Atma, Turiya Atma, which is behind the mind. Like that. That next mantra we will see tomorrow. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय।